Hey, how you guys doing? It's Alonte and we're back to Deviant Factions and we're working on tutorials. The second tutorial is abilities, how and when they work. So that's what we are going to do next. All right, join in. They're giving us some tips, but already in. All right, so we're going through abilities. Welcome to the abilities tutorial. In this game, we will review more in depth how abilities work in Deviants Factions. Remember that it is important that you read each of the instructions that appear in the dialog boxes like this one. Starting hand. Normally, you can choose a new hand by clicking on redraw, but this time it is important that you keep the hand that is presented so that you can continue with the tutorial. Click on keep to continue with the tutorial. All right, let's see. Open Epsilon. Click on Epsilon for a closer look. Card view. When you click on a card that is in your hand or on a card that is on the table, you will be able to see the detail of the elements that compose it. It has a get. A card that acquires a modification to the stats or abilities. Get can either be a triggered ability or an ongoing effect. If it's a trigger, the effect is permanent. If it's an ongoing effect, that effect will cease when the card providing it leaves the playfield. Text box. In the text box, you can find the detail of the abilities that a card has. When you look at a particular card, text boxes appear around it explaining the game mechanics mentioned inside the text box. Epsilon says that his opponent loses 13 HP points for each entropy card you have on the table and 9 attack points for each owner card you have on the table. Play Epsilon. Planning in silence. Remember that while characters have planning greater than 0, they cannot attack or use their abilities, so you will not see Epsilon in action for some turns. Very important when you're playing cards and strategizing, because if they're not battling right away, that's going to change which cards you put out first, obviously. Or you may choose the technology first. Play Shinjuku Gang will be a worthy opponent, the great Peshmerga rebel cell of your opponent. Click on Shinjuku Gang to inspect it. Shinjuku has a triggered ability. You can tell this by noticing that the skill is broken down into 2 parts. One part consisting of gray labels and another part containing the effect of the skill. Both parts are separated by a colon. Has frighten is that ability. Triggered ability. For an ability to be triggered, it must have at least one triggering event framed in the first part of the ability. In this case, the triggering event is the fight step. That is, Shinjuku Gang uses its ability every time it starts the fight step. Play Alia Oz. She knows how to have fun. Look like we playing Alia Oz, y'all. Click on Alia Oz to inspect it. Alia has a conditional ability. You can tell this because the cyan arrow-shaped label is at the beginning of her ability. When an ability has one or more conditions, it requires that these conditions be met in order to function. If the conditions of an ability in play are no longer met, the ability ceases to function. Makes sense. They do a good job doing the tutorial, structuring everything so it answers your questions. Play by play. So play bar knob to continue this tutorial. So when you see them healing and things, that's because some of the people on their team are giving them effects, or the HQ gives them effects that allows that. Click on bar knob to inspect them. A character can have more than one ability. In addition, an ability can be triggered and also depend on a condition. Burn off of an example of this. To find out what each condition and trigger means, please refer to the manuals on our website. So he has toughness, makes him stronger so that when he is attacked, it doesn't take so much from his actual HP. It lessens the damage. This card was moved and frightened away, and this HQ was attacked because he was frightened. No one's in the slot. That's gonna be explained in a further tutorial. But thank you. That is the end of this tutorial. Remember that you can review the manuals on our website to know what each condition and trigger means. And I'll probably do some videos a little bit later to help you guys get a better knowledge of that. Thank you. And that is the end of the second tutorial. Stay tuned for the next one.